We are reconvening our meeting, and the folks with the signs, make sure you're not blocking folks behind you, because they really need to see the proceedings. So you may want to move to whereby you're not blocking them. You understand what I'm saying? There are folks behind you that's trying to pay attention to the meeting, so the sign, we don't want anybody to be distracted from what's going on in the meeting. Thank you so much for your cooperation. We are now at the item of approving the minutes of our April 6, 2017 workshop and regular meeting of the Board of Trustees. Do I have a motion? It's been moved and properly seconded that we approve the minutes of our meeting of April 6th. Do we have any questions or any comments? If not, we'll vote by the usual sign of aye.
Aye.
Opposes? Passes. Dr. Head, do we have any special reports and announcements?
Yeah, just a couple of things. Just an update from the legislature, and then some information on our graduation. So the House and the Senate both have moved the BSN BAT legislation through committees, so it's going to come up for votes. It's been placed on the calendar. So we're optimistic that before it's over with, we'll be one of the colleges that's eligible to offer bachelor's degrees. So we'll see how that goes. The money has not really changed. There's a slight increase in community college appropriations of about $50 million in the biennium, which is for us, that's about $2 million, a little over $2 million each year, which our operating budget next year will be $375 million, and then another $150 in construction. So that's a small piece of what we're doing. I still, as we do our planning and when we have the workshop in June, you're going to see the trends that we see, which are, I still think that the state appropriations over the next couple of years will drop down. We're going to be going from 22 to 21 this year, something like that, to 20 to 19 to 18. So that's what we're seeing on the horizon. There's just, until something gives in the state economy, there's just, the money is the money. So the universities have been cut, and it depends on who you talk with. The universities say 7 or 8%. When you talk to the legislators, they say it's about 1%. The problem and the issue with community colleges, we actually lost enrollments as a whole. We didn't, but others did. So that's why the appropriations are pretty flat. So the second part of this is we have a record-breaking graduation. I'm really proud of this. We will have 7,983 students graduating with a degree or certificate. 7,983. Keep in mind that we are Helen, are we the fourth? We graduate the fourth largest number in the country of graduates, something like that. Yeah. So that's a 13.5% increase over last year. So that's one of our goals, is to increase graduation. So 13.5% increase. North Harris, Gerald, leads the pack with 2,092 graduates, and Cy-Fair has 2,058. And I know the rest of you graduating people. I just happen to have those two in front of me. So, so on Friday, May the 12th, Montgomery, North Harris, and University Park. Montgomery, North Harris, and University Park have their graduations at different locations. And on Saturday, May the 13th, the other three locations, the Cy-Fair, Tomball, and Kingwood, have their graduation. So if you've not indicated, and I think everybody has, right, all the board members, and we'll be sending out additional information, make sure they have their packets. It already is up here? Okay. So any question? I'm very proud of the graduation numbers, by the way. That's really good. Yeah.
Yes.
Excuse me, I'm going to back up just a little bit. Budget workshop in June, you said?
Yes.
Had we picked a date?
Yes.
Where was I? There's no telling. Don't answer that.
I've asked that question.
It's at 3:30 on June the June the 1st. It's our regular board meeting. We're just meeting a little earlier.
Got it. Okay, got it.
We will send out another reminder. Helen will send out another reminder. Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
President. That's fine.
Good evening. Chair Smith, Chancellor Head, members of the board. On behalf of the presidents, I'm pleased to present to you our May 2017 board report. So May is a month of celebration for schools and colleges across the country because it allows us the opportunity to reflect upon and celebrate our students' successes. And as a community college, part of our mission includes meeting our students where they are and helping them get to where they're trying to go. So as our students progressively realize their goals and their dreams, we take the opportunity to celebrate their successes, both tangible and intangible. And to start, here are just a few of the countless tangible successes of our Lone Star College students this past academic year. At the April 2017 International Phi Theta Kappa Conference that was held in Nashville, Lone Star College PTK chapter was named #1 in the world out of 1,300 chapters worldwide. Even more impressive, Lone Star College now holds this distinction as being the top chapter in the world for the 3rd consecutive year. Our Lone Star College students, Charles Kivlian and Savannah Martin, are one of 20 community college students in the country who were named to the All-USA Community College academic team. And this All-USA program is recognized as one of the most prestigious academic honors for students attending community colleges. Our Lone Star College engineering and advanced technology students earned top honors at the 2017 Texas Space Grant Design Challenge. And in addition to receiving this honor, our students also earned nearly $8,000 in scholarships. Our Lone Star College student, Scott Beltran, had his original work recently published in the 13th edition of the Bedford Reader. And the Bedford Reader is a college composition textbook that is widely used in freshman composition courses in colleges across the United States. Our Lone Star College students received the 2017 Repsol Student Innovation Award for their excellence in their STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math projects. Each of them also received a $5,000 cash award. Our Lone Star College speech and debate team won the 2017 state title championship, and you cannot help but smile when you see this photo because they are all grinning ear to ear. I just love that. Our Lone Star College drama students earned top honors at the 2017 Texas Community College Speech and Theater Association State Play Festival. 3 Lone Star College students were awarded the Community College Petrochemical Scholarship, which is sponsored by ExxonMobil. This annual scholarship was actually awarded to 39 students in our local area to assist them as they pursue their studies in the petrochemical field. The Lone Star College Coyotes secured a double championship win this year. And in addition to their winning season, each of these athletes boast a cumulative GPA of 3.0 or better.
Okay. Awesome.
And Lone Star College students Matthew Rumsdahl and Rabia Badat were 2 out of 55 students nationwide who were awarded the prestigious Jack Kent Cook Scholarship. This transfer scholarship will award both Rabia and Matthew each $40,000 per year for up to 3 years toward their bachelor's degree. And in addition to that, Matthew and Rabia will also be eligible for graduate school funding for up to $50,000 per year for up to 4 years. Like Rabia and Matthew, many of our other students have also received transfer scholarships to continue their education to four-year institutions. And here are the top 10 schools to which our students often transfer. In my opinion, this is one of the best definitions of success that I have ever come across. It's by Earl Nightingale, and he writes, "Success is the progressive realization of a worthy goal or ideal." And in the video you are about to see, you're going to hear from a few of our Lone Star College students as they share their own journey towards success. And by the way, this video was actually shot by our own Lone Star College students in their video production course, and lighting was the focus, and so pay special close attention to the lighting because it's really quite impressive. And I'm going to ask John where the video is. John, where is it? Is it down here?
So I decided it's time for me to chase my dreams. So I graduated from University of Houston with a degree in advertising, pursued a lot, ended up making a lot of money, but I ultimately wasn't happy.
When I was 18, I was very excited about pursuing a college education, but unfortunately, my father died of cancer.
What led me to pursue my GED was school got hard for me and I became a teen mom.
When I found out my child was on the way, all of a sudden, nothing's enough. I needed to be better. I needed to make more money.
I had a reckless experience in high school. I did not care about school. I didn't think of anything. I did not take responsibility for my actions.
Thinking back to my last year of high school, my mom told me about Lone Star College and thought, to sort of think about coming here and looking at the evening classes and the online classes.
I went online and I saw Lone Star actually had videography and photography production courses. So I saw a few classes, signed up, and started my journey.
I really liked that there was a second option for me other than school and taking care of a little one.
I was 60-plus years old. I didn't know how I'd be received by the professors or my fellow students.
It's been a while since I've been in school. I was out of school for about 16, 17 years. And immediately, even though this is something I've never, ever put my hands on a machine before, immediately I felt comfortable and I felt like this is not going to be a daunting task. I got people here to help me and show me how to do this.
Having this class at night with a professor who actually has been in the field for many, many years has been so encouraging and so beneficial.
My advisors from clubs like Student Government, Phi Theta Kappa, and the fact that I could work on campus was a huge benefit.
The excellent professors that I had encouraged me to learn and to think about things that I had never thought about before.
So I got my GED through Lone Star, and my future goals are to get my degree in cosmetology.
I walked in here wanting a certificate. I'm walking out with a degree, and I'm walking out with the mindset that I'm going to continue my education.
I want to open my own accounting firm here in Houston by the time I'm 30. And while I'm doing that, I also want to go back and be a professor of accounting.
I'm continuing my studies here at Lone Star College Sci-Fair in both art history, humanities, and English and history. And I hope to complete my degree someday.
I'm so excited to apply my knowledge that I've learned here at Lone Star while I'm at Texas Women's University.
I want to transfer to, I want to go to the University of Houston, and I want to major in business.
This class has been incredible and amazing. I've learned so much, and now I'm on the path of actually working towards achieving all of my goals and dreams.
Your students put that together?
Yes, our students put that together, and they did it last week for me.
Awesome.
Yes.
We need to. If they can do that in a week, we may need to hire some of your students.
I know. There's no shortage of excellence, of course, at Lone Star. But I think we would all agree that outcomes and metrics alone cannot offer a complete and meaningful picture of the many and countless ways that our students succeed at our colleges every single year. And at Lone Star College, we take great pride in celebrating both the tangible and the intangible successes of our students. And so today, we celebrate all Lone Star College students as each of them works toward the progressive realization of their own worthy goals and ideals. So please join me in giving all of our students a round of applause.
And Dr. Cavallo, on behalf of the board, congratulations on an awesome job tonight. We are always very pleased to hear about our students, especially those that are performing up to the Lone Star standards. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
If I could, before the next presentation, I don't know why I'm missing this tonight, but I need to introduce Beth Marshall from Community Impact. Is Beth, there she is right there. Okay. Hey, Beth, welcome.
Okay. Do we have Vice Chancellor?
I don't think we have a Vice Chancellor. No.
About that.
Faculty Senate, yes.
Yeah. Who's speaking for the, okay. Okay, Kim, come on.
Good evening,
Hi, Kim.
members of the board, Chairman Smith, Chancellor Head. Tonight I will give you the Faculty Senate President's Year in Review Report. We have been busy this year, as we are every year. The Faculty Senate Presidents function in two official capacities: as individual Faculty Senate Presidents who serve their constituents at their home colleges, and together as a group to give voice to faculty at system level. Both roles are equally important. We work closely with our presidents and vice presidents at our colleges. With my VPSS, I'm co-chairing the VPI hiring committee at Tomball. Karen Buckman encouraged leadership to continue the Child Care Center, which will reopen this fall at Montgomery. Anthony Carreras co-chairs Kingwood's online instructional quality committee with his VPSS, David Beatty. At our home colleges, we communicate a tremendous amount of information in both directions between administration and faculty. We sit on president's cabinets, instructional councils, college leadership councils, and others, and we gather information about the work done and decisions made at the colleges and disseminate that information to everyone. Every month, we create Faculty Senate President's reports, which are emailed to our faculty. I started sending mine a couple of years ago to the deans, vice presidents, and the president of my college as well, to ensure that we're all on the same page with everything. That I'm comfortable doing so indicates a high level of trust. These reports tend to be long, as I'm hoping that my tenure as Faculty Senate President will be judged positively by total word count. We communicate with everyone often. Anthony Carreras, Faculty Senate President at Kingwood, stated that as a Faculty Senate President, he receives and sends on average anywhere from 50 to 7,000 emails per day. Either he's underestimating his email traffic or he is a slacker, because 7,000 seems very low to me. Very low. Not only do we communicate, we create methods of communication. This year, Karen Buckman expanded the Faculty Senate website for Montgomery to be more informative for Senate members, and I created a Tomball Faculty Senate discussion email list so that faculty could share their accomplishments and talk about issues relevant to our work among ourselves. Our formal communication occurs at our Faculty Senate meetings, which some of you have attended at Tomball's campus and at sci fairs and others. There we discuss with our faculty college level and system level initiatives and decisions that impact faculty work and students. Faculty share concerns and ideas, which we then share with our local administration and with system office administration. We are asked questions and we get the answers. It was at my Faculty Senate meeting 2 months ago that we discussed the issue of returning financial aid money that we receive for those students who stopped attending classes after classes begin. It's very complicated. It took us a while to understand it. This had been brought to our attention by the AVC of Student Success, Chantel Hines. Faculty suggested a way to structure the official day role so that it is more faculty friendly, and I passed that along. And it looks like the suggestion was taken. I attended a returning Title IV funds meeting yesterday, and new process will be implemented in the fall. It feels good to see something come from what we suggest. Faculty will complete an electronic official day roll form at the usual 12th day mark, and again at the 50% point in each session. Faculty will be able to align their definition of attendance with the policies outlined in their syllabus. So that came together really nicely. The 6 of us agree that we are often asked to problem solve for individual faculty. Our colleagues come to us with problems and we assist them in solving them by either helping faculty in arriving at a solution or by connecting faculty with the resources or the people who can help them. Anthony described it as putting out fires. and we all hope to earn a firefighting certificate before the end of our terms. Often, faculty do not know where to go for help, but the Faculty Senate presidents are so well connected that we can identify who is best positioned to assist with any issue. It feels good to be able to get an answer to a question in a day. I have to confess that folks often make me look like a rock star because they get back to me so quickly with answers that a few of my colleagues think I am all-knowing. Really, I just know who to call both at my college and here at System Office. This year, we assisted students in need. We created an online list of resources for students who are in crisis, and we worked with John King to expand the website, and Paula Califf discussed that last month. College counselors added resources to the site, and Trustee Good included legal resources. We thank you for that, Dr. Good. We spent funds given to us by Dr. Head via the foundation. This year, my funds have purchased a laptop for a student, repaired a car or two, and saw a student through a time that was so lean he could only eat once per day. The money I gave him got him through a couple of weeks prior to the start of his new job at Walmart. By the way, Dr. Head, all of the students I have helped with that money in the last 18 months are still in school. They stay in touch with me, and they continue to express their gratitude. Because we are better together, we connect with other groups at our colleges. Paula Califf, the Faculty Senate president at University Park, worked with Sony Simon, the PSSA president at that college, to plan their annual Leo Awards, which is an event that celebrates all University Park employees. They include 3 awards for each cultural belief and include staff, faculty, and administrators. I'm a member of the PTG Paradox Committee, which is an advisory committee assisting with the employee compensation study. I keep my PSSA president and the other Faculty Senate presidents apprised of the progress of that study and next steps so they can update the PSSA members at their colleges. As a group, we meet once a month, on board day. Once a day would be way too much. Don't get any ideas. As a group, we meet once a month on board day with Dr. Head and Dr. Harvey Smith to discuss important issues of the day, such as budget, enrollment, and initiatives in progress, and legislative updates, and everything else. Here's a list of what we accomplished as a group through our monthly meetings here at System. We ask that a process be created to notify faculty when students have dropped our classes. That has been done, and we are grateful. We created evaluation surveys for deans, vice presidents, and presidents so that those faculty could weigh in on their administrators. Those went out last month, and we're grateful that those results won't be put online, unlike our own Rate My Professor evaluations. This year, we learned that faculty who are also ORP members received a letter in August which indicated that there were issues with their accounts. We brought this concern to Chancellor Head, who agreed to pay interest to all 197 affected employees in the system. We worked closely with LSC Online this year. We also all served on the LMS committees and either read the submitted proposals or weighed in on the LMS demonstrations. Currently, we're serving on the LSC Online Advisory Council, and we'll be working on a new evaluation form for online faculty. We worked with LSC Online to advertise the new proctoring services available to students who cannot access a testing center and provide training for those services. We asked that the emeritus policy be updated. We also asked that the faculty manual be updated. Those projects are ongoing, and we were updated on the faculty manual status today. Recruited by Dr. Harvey Smith, we recommended faculty to serve on the Council for Online Education, and 2 of us, Bob Lynch and myself, are members as well. All of the Faculty Senate presidents serve on the Chancellor's Faculty Technology Innovation Grant Committee. Shaw, that name is really long. I'm just saying. This year, I just found out he named it. This year, we received 24 proposals that asked for a total of $1,025,000. No, we didn't give away that much money. You look alarmed. It took us several days and a couple of long nights to finally wrangle it down, but we were able to recommend funding for 9 grants. OTS was very helpful to us in that entire process, and Nicole of Bolton is a master at keeping us from killing each other during tough negotiations. She deserves an I survived the Faculty Senate President's t-shirt, because it was rough. Serving on the Chancellor's Faculty Technology Innovation Grant Committee, thank you, Shaw, is hard work, but it allows us to learn about the innovative ways our colleagues in different departments at the different colleges are teaching our students. It's a privilege to be a part of the funding process when our faculty are doing such outstanding work and providing cutting-edge opportunities to our students. As Faculty Senate presidents, we also engage in professional development. Paula Califf helped to bring in Dr. John Anderson, who spoke to full-time and adjunct faculty on inclusive pedagogy for improving student retention and success. All of the Faculty Senate presidents attended the Pathways Institute in Bastrop in the fall and participated in creating Lone Star's Master Pathways Plan. 3 of us, Paula Califf, Anthony Carreras, and Patrick Barton, attended the Pathways working session in Dallas. I've assisted in presenting Pathways to the faculty in Tomball. Paula has worked on the Puentes Project, a program focused on improving successful completion and transfer of underrepresented student populations through providing wraparound services of teaching, advising, and mentoring. We have enjoyed our opportunity to contribute to these efforts so that our students are better equipped to identify their path, stay on it, complete their goals at Lone Star College. We were all invited to attend AACC this year, and Bob Lynch and I took the Chancellor up on that offer. I was able to attend a Women in Leadership seminar and sessions on national developmental education trends, and one college's process on building a year-long schedule that meets student needs. I'm excited to try to apply that soon. I also learned how good we have it at Lone Star after talking to a few faculty and administrators at another college. The grass isn't always greener on the other side of the fence or up I-45, I learned. In sum, the Faculty Senate presidents have been busy this year. Anthony Carreras said, again, we experienced enormous success in talking a lot. We also experienced success in giving faculty a voice and helping to solve problems and make things better for everyone, both at our colleges and in Lone Star as a system. Next year will be equally busy, and we hope to complete projects begun this year. Thank you for the opportunity, and see you in September.
Thank you. No question. Good job. Thank you. We do not have any, I guess, any board members that would like to make a report, or do we?
Yeah.
You'd like to make a report? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I attended the Innovation Conference at UP, Texas Open Innovation, and there were quite a few speakers there, I mean, all different backgrounds. But there was a gentleman from Dallas County Community College that spoke on removing the barriers of student success. And he used buzzwords: breaking the cycle of poverty, dealing with the economically disadvantaged, and actually going into what they considered the ranked #1 district in Dallas. 80% economically disadvantaged and at risk. And they decided that they were going to go in and turn this thing around. I didn't believe him, so I actually went up and took a trip to Dallas and had an opportunity to find out what's really going on. And they have a group called Unity, and Unity is made up of the community, which includes faith-based communities, the Independent School District Dallas, industry, Dallas Community College. They are, in my estimations, turning that situation around. The metrics that they came out with this year, they're saying, hey, we're no longer at the 80%, we're actually making progress. And I want to thank Christina Robinson for that meeting. It's very intellectually stimulating. And I started thinking about, where is Lone Star with respect to the economically disadvantaged and at-risk kids? Trustee Trowbridge always says that those kids are going to be left behind. So my question is, should they be? Should the access to quality education be dependent on their zip code or the level of the family income that they were born in? Is there equity in providing low-income children with access to the same quality education other kids can afford? So I want to thank Sherry Young. She made a presentation about 3rd and 4th grade readers reading that 50% at risk. 50% of them are reading at a 1st grade level, and in addition to that, they're facing poverty. So, and then I also want to thank UP they had a civic engagement conference, and they had a speaker there, and he wrote the book, The Price of Inequality. And what in essence, what he was saying is that if we continue to let this rise in our kids being economically disadvantaged and at risk, because we're at 40% in this area. Dallas hit 80%. Chicago exploded when they hit 70%. Okay, and then I want to say to the Lone Star, how can we gauge how many of those kids we're actually taking out of that area and bringing in? I don't feel like I've done anything for this community if I leave here and those kids are not, that percentage is not dropping. And it's going to take all of us. Here's the other thing. Somebody's going to have to explain to me, because I've gotten this question. There's some people out there are restless because North Harris did not follow through with a Discovery College course. And so Greens Point is not happy about that. Did you receive a call, Gerald? Okay. She said, thanks, you responded, but she is a Lone Star College grad, and she said she cannot believe that we do not have the resources and the ability to have that class at North Harris. So I was informed that last year she also had a lot of problems with recruiting and calling on the phone and trying to get help. So what she essentially said to me is, I am organizing and I'm putting together a group of people between 1960 and Beltway 8, Hardy Tow Road, and Kirkendall. She's taking a clipboard, she's going out and she's talking to all those multi-housing communities. And she's saying, hey, I want to have a report. I sent a letter to, Alton, did you get the letter? And Alicia Harvey? Did you get that letter on a town hall meeting? Okay.
I have not either.
All right.
When did the letter go out?
It should have went out yesterday. I just requested
if it went out yesterday, I probably didn't get it in the mail.
Because of the unrest, I said, hey, let's have a town hall meeting, and I'll invite you and Alicia Harvey, because we got a flicker that could become a flame.
Yeah. Okay.
Inferno.
Yeah. One of the things, thank you, Ken. I just spoke with the chancellor, and he will assign someone to look into,
okay.
those.
In addition to that, I recommend that we get a task force and have somebody that's experienced in recruiting and community outreach and go to those people now and try to stem that tide.
Yeah. Well, let's let the administration, take that into consideration and come back to us with what the plan of action is.
Yeah, because she honestly thinks that having gone to Lone Star, remember when they had the flood and they couldn't get those guys out of Greens Point? Those people have gone through a lot, and they feel like they've been undervalued, underestimated, and marginalized.
Yeah.
So I'm just letting you know that.
I understand. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm a very big proponent of education and et cetera, and I guarantee you the administration will look at those issues and come back with a plan of action to make sure that we do all that we can as a college to empower all people in our community.
Thank you.
Yeah, but thanks for what you've done. Any other board member?
Yeah, can I?
You sure can, if you behave. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
You're going to be sorry. I mean, I may be premature about this, but I'm not sure, and I don't know, and I don't know that I can know for a while. But when I saw yesterday the passage of Senate Bill 4, which is the anti-sanctuary city bill, and now if police forces do that kind of thing, they can get in trouble, they can get fined. And the question I had to myself was, will Senate Bill 4 be a backdoor to eventually deport DACA kids, dreamers? Will it be a backdoor, even though President Trump has said explicitly that DACA kids and dreamers are safe? They're safe. But now we know in this country there have been 2 or 3 or 4 cases of where dreamers or DACA kids have been deported. So I presented this argument to myself. Say a police officer stops here at this school, a DACA kid, for a traffic violation, and that officer sees or learns that the kid's Hispanic. Now, Senate Bill 4 does not mandate that he seek the kid's immigration status. He does not by law have to do that. But the officer may do it if he thinks there's a reason to do it. So it's under the discretion of the police officer. And the question I ask myself is, can then that officer, in a sense, report this kid to ICE, and will Senate Bill 4 override DACA? I don't know, but I will tell you right now, I don't think anybody knows. And that's something I'm concerned about. There are 25,000 undocumented college students in Texas. 25,000. On this campus, there are roughly, at Lone Star, there are roughly 1,500 to 1,800 undocumented students. Senate Bill 4 also says explicitly that the bill applies to public colleges. Now, what in the hell does that mean? What does that mean? Does that mean, in fact, that vulnerable will be the undocumented students? I don't know. So the question I have is, does Senate Bill 4, to quote Hamlet, fly us to ills we know not of? And that's why I think at this point nobody really has the answer to that. I asked Mario, because Mario knows everything. You think I kid. And he responded, and rightly so. DACA is under the provision of what's called prosecutorial discretion. What that means, you need to know what that is. What that means is that we have 11 million undocumented immigrants in this country. You cannot round up all 11 million at once, so you prioritize them. And Trump has put at the top criminals. He has also put at the bottom DACA people. He has. Now, we know in the country there are 800,000 DACA kids. So if the prosecutorial discretion works, they're going to have to get rid of 10 million immigrants before they get to the DACA kids. I'm still not 100% certain myself that that's how it's going to happen. Because already there have been exceptions in this country of 18-year-old kids, 19-year-old kids, 21-year-old kids, DACA kids being sent back. Now, what should happen, and this is something that Mario pointed out, SB 4 makes it unlawful for the college to punish a police officer for asking about immigration status. So the officer can ask that. Then suppose that happens here, and the officer then feels obliged to report it to ICE. What will ICE do? Now, presumably, what it will do is to say, under prosecutorial discretion, that's a DACA kid, low on the totem pole, way at the bottom, just forget about it. Presumably, that's what should happen, because that's what Trump wants to happen. But I'm not sure the system will comply with the president's wish. So I don't know what's going to happen with this thing. But it just strikes, and no other state has Senate Bill 4. No one in other states found sanctuary cities unconstitutional or whatever. So we have a unique case here. And in this state, will SB 4 mean the deportation of college kids or DACA kids? I don't know, and I don't know that anybody knows. And I don't even know what we do about it, except to say there it is.
Okay, thank you.
Organizing
Yeah,
protests.
any other? It's that time of the year that we have to look at the superintendent. I'm still thinking I'm at Aldine. We need to look at the chancellor's contract. And tonight I will appoint a committee to do that. And the charge to the committee is to look at the total contract and come back to the board by the July meeting with a recommendation. I've asked Dave to head up that particular committee, and he has agreed to do so. Also on the committee will be Ms. Saldivar. She has agreed to do so, and I will serve on the committee again. So we will report back to the board on the chancellor's contract by the July meeting. Okay? The next thing I want to talk about is a couple of months ago, the board had a retreat. And one of the things that we dealt with was the board's self-evaluation. And tonight I want to go over rather quickly the results of the evaluation. And I want to thank all of the board members for participating. One of the things that I'm proud about, and I'll kind of explain it in a minute, is that I was kind of worried at first as to what the board members would say about the other board members. And I am so pleased that we have a board that works well together. And based on the scores, there are no major issues. And if you look at the report, we have 16 items that we had to rate ourselves and the board on. And the highest number of points for each item, that you could give is on a Likert scale was 5. And 5 strongly agree, 4 was agree, 3 was neutral. We didn't have any strongly disagrees or any disagrees. But and the way this thing works is on the first question, the most points you can get on each question is 45. So on the first one, we had a total of 40. So 89% of the folks said that you guys, what we as a team, is doing quite well in that particular category. And that one deals with board expectations. And the numbers are the same all the way across. Number 2, 87% of the people said that we've got 87% of the points. The lowest one that you can see is item number 16 and 13, which had a total of 34 of the 45 points and 33 of the 45 points. And I think and there was kind of an outlier there. Miriam is brand new to our team. I think you had been with us a month at the time that you did that. And so those particular scores, that category came out to be 1 for Miriam. But if you discount that, we did pretty good in that category also. So I would say that Miriam probably would have, based on other scores, would have had a 4 in both areas had she had a longer service. So that would put that one up. So overall, we have a very, very good functioning board team. And I am so glad that we don't have the same issues that other boards have that I've seen, and I won't name any in particular. I am pleased to see that we all are about student achievement and making sure that we do right by our students and our employees. and I hope that we continue to do that. If I want to self-confess on myself, I think I had a 3 somewhere. I had a 3 on number 10, and number 10 dealt with being prepared for board meetings. And I am harder on myself than other people. When I get the board report on Friday, I have it all read by Sunday, and sometimes it's 400 pages, but I don't go back and reflect over that before I come to the board meeting. So the commitment I've made to myself, I will continue to study the board book and have it finished by Sunday, but I need to go back and reflect on what I read before Thursday, because sometimes at my age I've forgotten what I read on Sunday, and et cetera, so I need to go back and reflect. So that's the only area that I need to work on. And I was going to ask the other board members, based on the scores that you see, are there any item that you would like to concentrate on this coming year? And it's okay to say you don't have any. And I know I put you on the spot, and I'm not trying to do that.
What items?
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to zip it. Okay.
Are you talking about items that we could include in an evaluation?
No, items that's in the evaluation now. Is there anything, when you filled out the sheet, was there anything that you would like to see?
That was pretty clear cut. It was clear, and it was easy to understand.
Okay, all right. If not, I'll move on. Thank you. Okay, cut it on. Helen, do we have any citizens that would like to comment tonight? Oh, yeah. One of the things, Helen, I want to remind everybody, and we haven't started the clock yet, Dave, is we have, by policy, we have 30 minutes to hear all of those folks that want to speak. And my hope is that we can get them all in 30 minutes, but if not, we have to cut off at the 30-minute period to comply with policy. Dave, you're on.
Good. Thank you very much. My name's Dave Wilson. I'm the director of the Cypress, Texas Tea Party, and I want to let people know that I'm speaking for myself tonight. I wanted to speak to board agenda item financial report and consideration number 8, action item number 14, and having to do with the change order regarding the Lone Star College Kingwood Petrochemical Refinery Simulation Laboratory. In that particular item that we're talking about there, last year there was a contract executed with the service provider to design and construct the petrochemical refining simulation laboratory, and from what I can understand from what's included in the board packet, there was a guaranteed maximum contract that was executed, and the proposed change order is in the magnitude of over 25% of the original contract amount. So when I look at that from a taxpayer standpoint, and this is how I'm looking at it, I would think that something like that, if that's going to be approved, should require some additional explanation to the taxpayer with regards to what does a guaranteed maximum contract mean if you can submit change orders for over 25% additional funding. Now, there's some explanation in here that suggests that it has to do with additional construction services for ADA accessibility and other utility and facility infrastructure. Well, ADA is not some kind of a new regulation that came out since this contract was executed, so it would appear like that someone made an error or an omission, whether it be on the part of Lone Star College that it wasn't included in the bid package, or whether it had to do with the contractor themselves forgetting it and omitting it. I don't know, but if it was a contractor, obviously Lone Star College and the taxpayers should not have to bear that burden. I do want to thank Ms. Olenek. I did talk with her during the break, and she made some explanation that some of that information, some of those decisions are still being conducted, And the reason this is being put forth to the board is that if it is necessary that the fault falls upon Lone Star College, she wants the ability to go ahead and move forward with that so it doesn't hold up the project and the start time, et cetera. Small changes here or delays here could cause substantial delays downstream. So while I do understand that, I would really prefer to see that if in fact that's what it is, I would like to see that information and that background being put in here, or at least taken off the consent agenda so that could be discussed for the taxpayers to hear it as they review the meeting. But I thank you for the time to make comments.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah. I know what we'll do is we'll take that off the consent agenda and handle it separately. You're welcome.
Hello, thank you for letting me speak. My name is Jim Saldivar. I'm with a company called Sustainability Partners. And what we do is we make an allocation of money to municipalities, universities, schools, and hospitals. So what we do is we invest on energy upgrades for the community college. And basically it's very at no risk to the university. Because it's an investment fund, we're not an ESCO and we're not a performance contractor. All we do is enable energy projects, and they're funded with the energy savings from the project, which we take a percentage of, and we have unlimited money because we're an investment firm. And we're actually the world's largest investment firm, and I'm based here in Houston. So there's no limit on the money I can allocate for the system, whether it be 10, 50, or $100 million. So that's my presentation.
Wait,
Yeah.
would
One,
you like a seat up here?
I'm sorry?
Can I, when you say energy projects, what type?
Well, we affect...
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, sir, go ahead.
This is citizen participation, and it's not on the agenda, so
right.
You can ask questions or clarification if it's,
yeah,
but not,
it's
to make factual. Yeah, right. But what we'll do, one of the things I suggest, our CFO would be more than willing to talk to you about that.
Sure.
And there she is, right there. So
just a quick thing, we affect anything that could be measured. It's gas, water, electricity, air, windows, and roofs.
Yeah, but pass along your contact information to her.
Thank you, sir.
And we'll get back to you.
Thank you.
All right. Okay.
Hi, good evening. We are with Sodexo Magic, and thank you for having us. We first want to start off with congratulations on the... You can't hear me?
No, well, I didn't.
Oh, can you hear me?
I got you.
Okay. First, we're with Sodexo Magic, and first we wanted to say congratulations on the graduate numbers that you have. That's truly impressive, and the video that you showed really reflects the impact that you're making on the student lives, and we look forward to the opportunity to be a partner with you and help really drive that student experience and faculty experience even further. But the reason that we're here tonight is we are requesting that agenda item number 10 regarding the vending contract at Lone Star be pulled for reconsideration in order for all bidders to resubmit their bid utilizing accurate sales data. The financial variances found throughout the RFP and further validated by the numbers published in tonight's action item number 10, we have reason to believe that Lone Star College may not have received the full value of the rebate benefit earned. The misreporting or variance found could have resulted in as much as $1 million in revenue and up to $360,000 in lost rebates to Lone Star College over the term of the contract. So on behalf of all the bidders for the financial benefit and for the financial benefit of Lone Star, we respectfully request that agenda item number 10 be pulled and accurate numbers are given so all bidders are given the opportunity to submit bids on a fair and level playing field with financial accuracy and transparency.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chancellor Head, Chair Smith, and Board of Trustees, thank you for your time. Today, I am here to talk about Professor Kelly Vorish, whose current contract status is non-renewal. I am here to speak directly to the Board of Trustees, not administration. You see, I believe that this administration is past the point of persuasion when it comes to the decision of Kelly Vorish. Administration is firmly set on the belief that Lone Star would indeed be better off without her. However, I am not. You see, with her guidance, we have been able to accomplish things that are unprecedented at our campus, maybe even the entire Lone Star system. On April 22nd, we hosted the P. Vorish Pop-Up Book Festival, where we gave away 2,354 books to children in our community. We did that in the hope that we could combat children illiteracy in the Cypress area. Yesterday, I, along with some of my peers, met with two of the candidates for the Kelly Vorish Scholarship. That is a $1,500 scholarship that is designed to help relieve the burden of money to an incoming freshman that shows both academic excellence and leadership skills. Because, Mr. Lloyd, we also don't believe that anybody should be rejected the opportunity of education because of their economic status. You see, this scholarship would not have been possible without the guidance of Professor Vorish. That is why it's named after her. It is a symbol that represents her commitment and her will to ensure that everybody has the resources to be successful in life. After meeting with the candidates, it is clear that this scholarship could be the difference between enrolling at Lone Star or not. These are just two examples out of the endless things that Professor Vorish does to try to include people who have been excluded by society. Professor Vorish is probably one of the best things that Lone Star has to offer. I am not the only one who thinks so. All you have to do is look around and wonder what it takes for college students to drive an hour away the week before finals to hold a sign. I have a printout in my possession, currently signed by 184 people, demanding that the change of contract of Professor Vorish be reversed. There is 184 people who have been impacted in such a way by Professor Vorish that Lone Star is really, really hurting itself if they push her out. Here I have some of the comments that people have put on this petition. Christina from Cypress, Texas says, P. Vorish is one of the best teachers I have taken at Lone Star. June from Katy, Texas says, I am signing this because Kelly Vorish not only changed my life for the better, but shaped my career path to success. Kelly Vorish has to be one of the best professors I have encountered throughout my school career. I could go on. There's paragraphs. People take up an entire page about the stories that Professor Vorish has, the way that Professor Vorish has impacted them at Lone Star. I am not here to raise legal concerns, but I am here to raise an ethical concern. Members of the Board of Trustees, I believe it is your duty to ensure that the decision by administration to change her contract to non-renewal is truly the right decision. Whatever the reason for that change is, you must ensure that it completely outweighs the positive impact that she has had on myself, on children in our community, on future students, on the countless Lone Star students that she has affected throughout her years of work. I feel like administration hasn't taken my words into consideration, which in a way I understand. I'm only one person. Why would they? But I believe it would be irrational to ignore students who will stage a protest to get your attention, to ignore 184 students who will sign a petition, to ignore 23 faculty who have signed a packet in her defense. That is over 200 people. If you won't listen to students, if you won't listen to faculty, then who will you listen to? All I ask is that you take my words into consideration when you vote on hearing her appeal. Thank you.
Thank you. What's the name again? Okay.
Hello? Okay. All right. Good evening, Board of Trustees, faculty members, staff. Today I want to speak upon the disconnection between administration and students. So it is administrations upstairs, president, vice president, that is there for the student, and that's what their job entails. But we only have support from our professors and teachers when it comes to daily issues on campus. There shouldn't be people coming up to me as an officer of clubs saying, hey, who is our president? Or I've never seen our president. We don't see her or him on campus. And that's a big problem right there with that disconnection. And that's what I'm here to try to get solved. We also have in our SGA, Student Government Association Constitution, where it says every month we should have a board meeting, it's in our Constitution and paper, with a president. And we've requested that meeting daily, and a lot of times we request that meeting and it's never been carried through. So we are here again to speak on why that's a problem, because if we say we're for the students, but when it comes to help from administration, we only get that help from the faculty members and the professors and teachers. That's all we get help from. And that's a problem right there, because for Lone Star to be the school that it is, and I'm proud of my school, I'll never say that I'm not, but I can sit here and sugarcoat and tell you all the good stuff that's going on, but we all know all the good stuff that's going on with Lone Star, so we have to say the bad stuff. That's what we're here for. And we also have, if we don't have administration support, we as students cannot grow. All those awards we saw, the presentation with the Phi Theta Kappa, speech and debate, that was students. The students accomplished that. But without the help of administration, with the help of administration, we can do more and we could do better. We will not remain silent so you can remain comfortable. Oh, pardon me. That was keynotes for the Trump rally next week. Never mind, I'm sorry. It was a joke. I'm the funny one, okay? That's all for today. Thank you.
I have a question. I have a question, young man. I just want
Yes, Mr. Lloyd. Oh, wait, Mr. Alton Smith.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that the Student Government Association has a constitution that says the chief administrative officer of the campus must meet with the SGA.
Officers, yes, sir. Every month, it's in the Constitution.
Okay. Okay.
And we haven't been able to have that meeting, so, and that's big because we are the government of the students for the students, so we
understand.
Yes, sir.
I just want to make sure I understood you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Can I use both?
By all means.
Good evening. How you doing? My name is Steven Zarosco. I am a Cy-Fair alumni. Proud of that. Graduated 2 years ago. I'm currently about to graduate from Texas Southern University, and will be continuing graduate school at Texas Southern University. So I'm proud to carry any successes with me from Cy-Fair and back. That's why I always return to campus, and that's why I'm here today, because I have been collaborating and working with these students. 2 of them you just heard, and more of them I hope that you will hear from even after we're done here. I'm here because I like to show the support, but most of all, I'm not just speaking to the board members. I'm speaking to everybody here. I don't like turning my back on people when I talk to them, but these words go out to everybody here, because you talk business as usual because you have to talk about business as usual. You have to run this. This is something that you have to constantly stay on top of. But board member Trowbridge, Grandpa Ron, and board member Lloyd, you both touched on 2 things that are consistently working within just society, not just college campuses. You talk about social issues. You talk about the things that are going on in this country. You mentioned what's going on with SB4 at the state capitol. Well, today at the capitol of this country, they decided that if you're pregnant, have a C-section, postpartum depression, rape, or sexual assault, that's a pre-existing condition. So the women in this room can just let that simmer. And the reason why that's important to mention is because the conversations that happen in these classrooms and sociology club or the Black Student Union, these are the conversations that this young generation are ahead of many of you. It's just the truth. Because they're not just learning off campus, they're learning online. Because what's going on in the country is in their pockets now. So he's having these conversations. So a professor like Kelly Vorish, who facilitates these conversations in an environment that uses a school classroom, a campus, and creates the intangible change that you could really see after you give them some time and some support. I'm already here representing BLMHTX, Truth to Power, All Real Radio, and currently working with Project Row Houses in the historic 3rd Ward, where we have disadvantaged kids that we would like to work with, which I'm currently trying to bring the Sociology Club and the Black Student Union so we can work with that community and Project Row Houses. So when I'm saying that we're trying to carry a legacy from Cy-Fair beyond, it's true. So please, Do us a favor, give us the support, and recognize great faculty. Thank you.
Good afternoon, guys. So thank you for allowing us to speak here today. It's really unfortunate that we have to come all the way over here in order for you to hear our voices. There's a problem at Lone Star College Sci Fair, and we can no longer hide it. Administration has been neglecting us for a while. We are tired of going into pointless meetings where they pretend to hear our concerns, but at the end of the day, nothing gets done. Student government serves as the link between the administration and the student body, but that link has dramatically been damaged. This began as a fight for Kelly and Tashima Jones, but it has turned into something way bigger than that. Administration should serve as the inspiration, that hand of guidance that every student searches for. But the sad truth is that to y'all, we are nothing more than just a number. And I can tell by the amount of times that you ask what my name is, or it doesn't matter how many conversations I have, you will always ask me the same questions. Who can we trust now? Since the last time I spoke in this very room, my name has become a liability to the campus. My administration is trying to change the system of SGA. The environment has become toxic, and it's really hard for us to express our concerns. Here today, I have several students with us. They are active members of those clubs, PTK, Sociology, Honors College, and many more. They are here to make sure that you hear their voice, and for once, you take their concerns serious. Those awards that our president was talking about earlier were earned because of people like Blake Ellis, Tashima Jones, Esther Robertson, and Kelly Vorst. Unfortunately, administration had no input in these success stories. Administration does not get to take credit for things that our professors and our mentors have done and accomplished. So at this moment, I would like for my fellow members to give a round of applause to those professors and staff that made the student success its true and honest journey. Thank you. To finish my speech, I would like to quote a statement that administration uses in every speech they ever make. So, to them, it says, "We are here for the students, and without the students, we wouldn't be here." But honestly, is that true? Thank you.
Without my brains here. Good evening. How's everybody?
Fine.
I think we're witnessing with these students here is the tip of the iceberg. The tip of the iceberg of the Latinos that have been constantly discriminated by the board of directors and the people responsible for hiring professionals here. As you know, the number of Latinos here is, from a percentage standpoint, are, I guess, 42 or 43%. I don't get those records anymore, but there is only, from what I understand, 9% of people that are actually hired here on the faculty, which is quite a disparity. I have been trying to reason with the management, including Dr. Head. Dr. Head refuses to give me an answer about parity. I asked him about what is parity. He said, well, it depends. I said, on what? I said, on the number of Latinos that you hire versus the number of Latino students. He said, well, that's another thing. I said, what? What is our place, Dr. Head? Evidently, in his mind, he doesn't understand that justice for all or equity or parity is 100% of 100%. Since 2002, I submitted 20 affidavits of professionals that applied to work here to the EEOC. The EEOC came down with a systemic charge against the college for discrimination against Latinos in 2012. The EEOC proceeded to request on a voluntary basis testimonies from the key people here. The management said, no way, Jose. They also asked for a copy of the employment records. Oh, no, we can't do that. It sounds like there's a smoking gun here that we don't want to be more transparent about. I'm convinced, with all the dancing, with all of the moving back and forth of intent, with definitions of equity, transparency, and a lot of BS, that this is a 100% racist college. I, too, am tired, like the lady mentioned, of big talk, white talk, people that want to make promises or want to come across as do-gooders. Trust me, this college is going to have a huge impact because all colleges are hiring heavy hitters, including Houston Community College, University of Houston, Rice, and I'm talking about people at the higher levels that can attract others to come to work for you. Okay, I'm getting a signal. This is another way of cutting me off, so thank you very much.
Well, we've made it pretty plain that speakers are allowed 15 minutes and 5 minutes, I'm sorry, and 30 in the aggregate, so I'm sorry. Okay, thank you. Mario, are you in a position to update us in that area, please?
Sure. So I've met with the EEOC personally twice in the last probably 60 days. And when I say I've met with the EEOC, I met with the director of the EEOC, and I just have two facts. Number one is that the EEOC director had no idea who Joe Ramirez is. And number two is that we have it in writing now from the EEOC director, and I'm happy to share with any member of the board or actually any member of the public that we owe no outstanding interviews, no outstanding documents with regard to the investigation that Mr. Ramirez keeps referencing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Helen, is that okay? Thank you.
Take it there.
Okay, we're at this point we will consider the consent agenda. The board members, do we have any items that you would like to pull from the consent agenda? Okay, we have pulled already item 6, 7. We're going to pull item 10, 14, and 16 to be handled separately. So at this point, we will entertain a motion on items 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 15.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second that we consider those items. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes. We will now go back and consider item 6 individually, which is, and then we'll get a motion after we hear the comments about item 6. Approve no amendment, for the concealed weapons. Okay, go ahead, Dr. Ed.
So I want to make sure the board knows what we're doing here. So this is the final reading And it's accompanied by the procedures on the back and the actual recommendation. So if you would take a look in your board agenda item under appendix and forms. So we have the general guidelines, and then we get into specific guidelines. And I know that at the previous meeting, Dr. Scott asked that we bring those back in. But if you have not taken a look at that, the work here is really, really good. It's about as thorough as we can do right now. And I know that Rand and Mario are available for questions, but it's pretty self-explanatory. So this will be submitted. If you approve it, it will be submitted to the legislature or somebody in Austin, and they'll review it. But this is what we'd like to move forward with.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments on item 6? If not, may I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second that we consider item 6. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Okay, item 7.
Jennifer, can you come up and just briefly highlight this?
Yes, so item number 7 is for the board to adopt a resolution ordinance establishing exemptions from ad valorem taxes for tax year 2017. There's 3 segments of this. The first is the homestead exemption, which is $5,000 or 1% is exempted, whichever is greater. There is then also disability or over 65 additional homestead exemption for the first $75,000 of the value of your home. And then finally, taxpayers who are eligible for the disability or over 65 exemption qualify for a tax ceiling. The other thing that we are doing different this year is this resolution and ordinance typically comes before the board every single year to adopt. We are instead saying this automatically renews, and it only comes back if you want to say otherwise. Otherwise, these remain in place.
Great.
Thank you.
Any other comments?
Can you estimate the savings to the taxpayers that are subject to these exemptions?
I don't have those numbers with me, but I can definitely do that analysis. Yes, I could, and provide that.
I'd like to see that.
Okay.
Any other questions? May we have a
No, go ahead. Don't leave, because I want you to talk about item 10.
Yeah. May we have a motion on item 7?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and properly second that we adopt item 7. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposes? Motion passes. So, Jennifer, you're on for number 10 also.
Can you talk about the process that we've gone through? And
Yes, so for the process we go through, an RFP is put out, and we receive the proposals. First, an evaluation of the proposals is conducted, and then based on those scores, there is a presentation evaluation that is then conducted, and all of the scores across the various committee members are tabulated to get to the final scores. And so the agenda item is then recommending that we award this contract to the highest score. And we are continuing to use the additional language that, because this is just authorizing us to negotiate and execute a contract with the recommended vendor. We have provided language to say that if negotiations cease for any reason with that top vendor, we can move on to negotiations to the next highest scoring and so forth to award a contract.
Jennifer, I have a point of clarification I want to make. Isn't it true that the group that evaluates the proposal is not the same group that evaluates the presentation? That those are independent reviews. They don't know what each other has come up with, and even within those groups, members don't know what the other members have come up with. Is that correct?
Correct.
So
Their
it's a
scores are
completely
submitted
blind-
independently. Mhm.
Okay.
And the members on each of those groups, can you describe their positions in the organization?
They usually vary by committee. I do not know off the top of my head who sat on the committee for this one, and we usually
But it does vary depending on the users of the particular contract being looked at.
For example, if it were college, if the colleges would be involved, if the service impacts the college, if it's just here, maybe at the system office, only system office people would be involved. So we can get you the names of the positions of the people on the committee.
But there are individuals who have experience in that particular area.
Yes, we usually want to pick people who are familiar.
Okay. Any other comments, questions? May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and properly second that we adopt item 10. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 14.
So either Mario or Jennifer, do you want to go into more detail about the issues with the process technology that
So here, the construction firm has submitted change order requests, which we are still evaluating. No decision has been made yet as to whether to approve or deny those requests. But as I did have the conversation earlier, did not want to try to potentially impact the timeline of this project. So with the potential for these change orders, we have brought this before the board. Part of the challenges here is the nature of the pilot plant.
But you want to talk about the issues we were dealing with, the concerns over the disabilities and how the plan was for. I understand your question. I think that's fair, or your issue. And so there's some extenuating circumstances to this. I don't mind telling you, we're very sensitive about these bids, and especially change orders. They all come through the chancellor, just so you'll know. So I know what's going on with it. But I would like for Mario to give she's got the business side of it. He's kind of got the legal, technical other part.
So what I understand happened is that when the project was designed, it was designed, so this is a plant. And so when the plant was designed, it was designed as essentially a plant that would be used by a private entity. So what happened is when we started digging into it, and the example that we were talking about, I remember because I was part of that conversation, was, for example, in a regular, sorry, I'm having mic issues now. In a regular, it's turning on me. Hold on. Okay, here we go. So in a regular, and I'm going to need my hands. So in a regular plant, for example, there might be a valve that's up here, right? But because we have heightened ADA requirements as an educational institution, we have to sort of make it wheelchair accessible. So the cost of amending the design essentially to move that valve from up here to down here is sort of what you're seeing. And I can tell you that I agree completely with Mr. Wilson, I believe it is, and I said, we're fighting about this. I want to make that very clear. We're fighting about this. We're not just going to roll over for these vendors, and I'm saying it on tape, so there you are. We're not just going to roll over. And so, because I can tell you my initial reaction as soon as they told us is, next, are they going to send us a bill for a roof? I kind of assume that if you're building a building, it's going to come with a roof. And so if you're building a building for Lone Star, for an instructional building, you should sort of accept some responsibility for delivering an ADA compliant building to our specifications. So we're on the same team, sir.
But the other issue is we want accessibility for all of our students, because we have veterans, we have all sorts of students here.
Right, and so I can tell you the exact argument was, well, these folks won't be able to get a job in a real plant. And I said, that's not your concern. And my concern is making sure that we provide equal access of opportunity to be instructed and get an education to all of our students, especially our disabled students, regardless of what the genesis of that disability is.
This is a pilot plant?
Yeah, yes, sir.
It's a
Move a valve?
No, I was just using that as an example of one of the things.
Automate it and flip a button.
Right, but there's certain things like in a functioning lab for a private company that they don't have to worry about. There's things we do have to worry about for social justice issues and legal issues.
And so just to be sure, we expect people submitting bids to us to have researched what our ADA requirements are. Is that correct?
Correct, and that's sort of where we are right now. And so as as Jennifer said, what we're trying to do is get the authority to move in that direction. But I can tell you that my office pushes back against vendors, and we don't just roll over because we take taxpayer money very seriously and that stewardship very seriously.
So this item is asking for approval to authorize a change order up to that amount, but we're fighting hard.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
And if I could add, there are multiple change orders in addition to the ADA. It kind of went on to the next page. It says additional construction services for ADA accessibility and other utility and facility infrastructure. So there are several items that are being reviewed and figuring out which ones in addition to the ADA. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay. On item 14, board members, may I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second that we adopt item 14. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 16.
So was recommended for separate consideration.
Yes. Yeah. And I'll read what we have to add to item 16. And it reads as follows. The Secretary's certificate will be signed by Trustee Ken Lloyd, who is the current board secretary. It was previously signed by Dr. Ron Trowbridge, and that would be the change to item 16. Any questions? May I have a motion?
So moved.
It's been moved and properly second that we adopt item 16. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposes? Thank you. Let me see where I am on the, I think I'm, financial report. I did too. Well, it's kind of hidden. I got to start highlighting it. I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's okay. In your packet is the financial statements for the month ended March 31st, 2017, presented for your review. If you go to the first chart, actual revenues as a percent of budget through March 31st, you can see we are 82.5% of the revenues, which continues to be ahead of last year. That has been the recurring theme each month. And then on the following chart, actual expenditures as a percent of budget through March 31st for expenditures. If you remember previously, we had been running higher than prior years. This month, it has now dipped below just slightly, 54.1% expenditures compared to the same time last year, we were at 54.6% of expenditures. Turning to the following report, Statement of Revenues and Expenditures. If you remember last month, I presented a new column on this report, the forecasted variance column. I'm going to continue to focus on that. We are updating it every month as we receive new data, new information, and new developments. And
Tell me one more time, what does that mean again?
Which is
forecasted variance.
So this is the forecasted change from the budget. So for example, if you look in the revenues, in the tuition and fees, the budget was $119,381,000. We are projecting, our forecasted variance is that we are going to have $4.8 million less revenues in tuitions and fees. So that is the variance from the budgeted amount.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
So you can look at this column and just see what our forecasted changes are to the budget. And if you run all the way down the column, you can see the total net increase in fund balance. The budget was projected to increase fund balance by $5 million. It is currently projected to increase fund balance by $7 million. And then below that, we have included the forecast of the long-term cash reserves in addition to showing the fund balance. So in the forecasted cash reserves, we did have a beginning cash reserve of $42 million, and we are currently forecasting the ending reserves. The August 31st, 2017, our forecast of that is $53 million. This is an improvement over last month. We had projected 15.2%. Cash reserves this month, we've had positive changes in these forecasted variances, and right now we are projecting that we're going to hit 16% at the end of the year. I would say let's not celebrate yet until we're actually at the end of the year, right? We do update this every month, but I'm happy to see a positive movement from last month.
Yeah.
Jennifer, I have 2 questions. Remind me again, our actual revenue as a percent of budget is significantly higher at this point this year than it was last year. What is driving that?
Mostly in the property taxes. We've continued to project additional $7 million in property taxes than what was budgeted.
Okay. And a variance of $4.8 million in tuition and fees seems pretty high. What caused that?
It's a few items. We have, so spring growth came in at 1%. We had budgeted 3%. So that's in the credit revenues. And then there's been additional impacts in some of the differential fees and the other fees, we think largely due to the lower than budgeted enrollment numbers for spring. Where some of the improvement came in from last month to this month is when spring came in at 1%, we then were projecting summer to be 0% growth. We are starting to see some numbers come back in positive on summer enrollment. So right now we have the summer back to the budgeted 3%. So that was one of the causes for improvements from last month to this month.
Okay, thank you.
So we're just very conservative in our numbers. And the North Harris enrollment issues impacted all of us, so we made the adjustments. That's what we're doing. So, but North Harris, all the enrollments look really good for the fall. It's too early, but everybody's up at least 24%, something like that, all across the board. So, pretty high. But that's too early. But it's better than being down.
You said all the campuses up 24%.
Something at least 24%. I think that's the lowest one is 24%. Everybody's up.
Wow.
So that's for the fall, but it's
I understand. Yeah,
it's
that's
May.
excellent.
So
That concludes my financial report, and then on the buildings and grounds report, I have nothing to add beyond the report in your book.
Okay.
one thing I want to point out before she leaves is I think we're on target to hit the 16% goal.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be really close. So.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Good job, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Board members, do we have any future agenda items?
Can I
Yes, sir. I was getting ready to wrap.
say something?
Go ahead. I'll just keep this a little bit closer.
This is going from the sublime to the ridiculous, okay? And I'm sure you're dying to find out.
I am.
In my other life, I do triathlons. So I raced this Saturday. And it's the next step in the goal to make Team USA again, which I've tried 4 times and only made it twice.
It's still good.
But Worlds are in 2018 in Australia, and my wife has already made reservations. So I better make the team, which I better get my job done this Saturday. I know you all come out and watch it. It's a short one. It's only a couple of hours. It'll be over, and you gotta be careful. You'll get hooked. It's a lifestyle. That was it, Doc.
Well, we wish you the best of luck.
But don't, if you go, don't eat anything around him because he'll tell you everything you eat is bad for you.
Yeah.
Guilty as charged.
Yeah.
Meeting's over.